Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Spy X Family discussion videos. I said the X! Dang it!
You did. Spy Family.
Spy Family discussion
Spy
videos.
Family.
Today we're going to be talking episode 5. I am joined once again by the lovely, startacular Stella Luna.
Hello.
And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about episode 5. Get yourself a warm cup of tea, throw this video in another tab, get nice and cozy, let's talk about it. We gotta talk fast! We have places to be. We gotta talk fast. So, this week, it was
Love
good.
this episode.
Yes, it was great.
Love this episode.
It was super good. So, trying to think what I want to start with. Henderson, Henry Henderson, the Captain Elegant himself. Elegant. He does end up actually getting them into the school, right? He gets them into Eden College, which is great. But only on like a technicality, right? So they did technically fail. So last week's like kind of cliffhanger, like it did have payoff. Like they did technically fail. But they got in because of Henderson kind of bullshitting that. Do you know what the biggest killer of humanity is? Mosquitoes! You did a great thing saving us from that mosquito. And I like that Twilight's like, that's insane.
That's
right?
insane.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like that, like, sure, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically Henderson gets them in, but does say that he might not be there by the time that Anya starts her classes, right? Because he punched Swan in the face. If Henderson's not around, I'm going to be very bummed out, because he seems like a very fun character to not include in the show. Especially after having given us the character already, to have him just disappear seems like kind of a bummer.
Well, he's already in the end of the show, right? Or in the not the end of the show, but the ending. So like it would be weird if he wasn't there. That's the one thing I don't like about sometimes about openings and endings.
They give things away.
It's just like they kind of just give things away. It's like yeah, you know, like he doesn't, and like he's gonna probably end up staying because of something, right? Or he's going to have some importance to the story, but like he's not. I mean, going away.
He was important to the story already, so it could be that like his importance is over. Like he's the reason they get in, but like he's not around. But I hope that's not the case, because I think he's a very fun character, and I don't really want to lose him.
Yeah, he's very fun.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to lose him as a character. I think he's fun. We also get the re-emergence of another character who I was like, man, it's weird that they just kind of got rid of him. Frankie's back this week. Frankie! Yeah, I was like, yay! Frankie basically filling the role that I think I said this in a video, but that I was like, Frankie's probably going to be like the mischievous uncle. You know, like the uncle who shows up. He's not there all the time, but when he does show up, he's there to basically like entertain like the kid while the parents are doing other things and they get into like trouble, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly what Frankie does. Frankie apparently is a big fan of Bondman. Well, not that he's a big fan, but he's a fan of Anya's, and Anya's a Bond fan.
Yeah.
And the reason why Frankie's even shows up is because they get into the school, and seeing them like get all excited was really cute. Like anytime like Twilight picks up Anya and like spins her around, I think is great, and I really like it a lot. It's just because it's so like charming, right? It's like he does care. Like he lets like the armor slip sometimes, and like you see that he does care about everybody gathered together. Like they are becoming a family pretty quickly.
Yes.
And so yeah, they start to celebrate, and then there's a knock at the door, and it's Frankie, and he's like, "Hey, I heard Anya got in."
And like, oh, that was quick.
Yeah, even Twilight was like, "That was fast," and we were both like, "How the hell did he know that?"
I think he just assumed that.
I think he has their phone stabbed. Like that's my guess, is that he had his phone. But even then, it's like that's very fast. Like
he was probably just standing outside because like part of me is like he probably just assumed she was gonna make it in, because like that's what the headquarters thought too.
Yeah,
they were like, oh, don't worry, like they're for sure, you know,
they're for sure gonna get in, and then they don't.
And then they don't, right? So it's possible that's also what he thought, or maybe he just, you know.
Because he does say like, don't doubt an informant. right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it could be like, because Frankie is basically an info broker, right? Like, so his
Yeah.
job is just to get information. So he might actually have access to stuff at Eden College and just nobody knows, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, because he could have easily known they got onto the wait list, and then
Yeah.
he was like,
just waited.
and he just waited, and he was like, oh, there's that phone call. I'm gonna go head over.
Yeah, yep, they're getting the call. I'm gonna head over. Yeah, that could have been what happened. Either way, it's like, I like that Frankie knew, because it's like, I'm here. And because Frankie's there, and he's a mischievous shithead, he brings wine and takeout.
Yep.
Which is very nice, actually. I want to point that out too. That Frankie didn't just like, because they could have made Frankie like they could have made Frankie sleazy very easy. That rhymed.
Easy, very easy.
Yeah, that rhymed. They could have made it that he was like a freeloader, or that he's like a slob, or that he's weird, or that he's uncomfy. But he's not. He's like he's a good uncle figure, right? Like to Anya, and he's like a fun sort of like brother/brother-in-law figure to Yor and Twilight, right? Because when he shows up, but not to be like a shithead. He shows up because he's genuinely like, hey, congrats, like the mission's continuing on, let's go, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he bought his own wine that he shares with everybody, and he bought the food.
Yep.
Right? And I was like, that's a very subtle touch that I think not many people are going to catch on to, but I like that he's the one who bought the food. Right? He bought the food, he bought the wine. It was his idea to do the castle thing. Like, Anya wanted to do it, but he, like, not that it was his idea, it was Anya's idea, but he encouraged it.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, that's a great idea. Right? And then, like, when he comes up from behind and he's like, oh, Papa, I don't want to go to school if I can't do the castle thing. Right? And he's like, don't speak for her. Like, Twilight being like, don't speak for her, don't do that. And then later, Anya says that thing back. Like, she says it again, and he's like, God damn it. Right? Like she's learning from Frankie how to play Twilight. Like, I think that's really, I loved that. I really, and I liked him being the bad guy. Him getting knocked out in one punch was really funny.
It was really funny. Like, the whole episode was really, really good. I really liked that we had a lot of action this week.
It was,
right?
it was,
but it was action that was like play, which was fun.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't serious. Like nobody, like the
serious.
guns were all like Nerf guns, right? Like they were shooting like foam balls. Yeah,
and it was great because like you also had some of the other spies that like had never really seen Twilight, have only heard of him, like just like
see him in the flesh for the first time.
Fanboy out. Like the one guy, he was just like, that's Twilight. He's like, oh, he's so cool. Like,
I gotta get his autograph. Yeah,
gotta get his autograph. Like when
all the spies just bought 100%. Like they just believed in whatever this plan was. They're like, yep, whatever this has got to be for Operation Strix. This is like going to bring world peace if it goes off. So whatever Twilight says, we're gonna do it. But then by the end, all the spies are crying and emotional because they all also like Anya.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it's very.
It was so great. Like the action's just so good, and leave it to Wit.
Yeah, it was. Right? Yeah, because so this is an odd numbered episode, and for anybody who might not know or maybe forgot, while yes, this is a Cloverworks show, it's in conjunction with Studio Wit, right?
Yep.
And so Wit is handling all the odd-numbered episodes, while Cloverworks is handling all the even-numbered episodes. And this is an odd-numbered episode, so when they mentioned the castle, I was like, oh shit! Right? So, like, it's a big action episode, and it's handled perfectly.
So good.
It was beautiful.
Which also, like, low-key just makes me, like, miss that Wit being, like,
the action studio.
For Titan.
Yeah. Like it's a reminder of what they can do.
It's a exactly. It's a reminder of what they can do, right? And like part of like especially like season 1 of Attack on Titan, because like that was 2013, right? Like imagine
it still looks good.
it still looks good. Imagine if Wit still had like
still had Titan.
4.
Yeah. Like not to knock Mappa, by the way, because I do enjoy what Mappa's doing. It's just interesting to think about because now Wit as a studio is more inclined to do family-oriented stuff, right? Yes. Now they still put action into their series, right? If you watch Ranking of Kings, you know what I'm talking about. There's still very like fluid, beautiful action animation, but they're not doing it to the same tone, I'll say, as like they used to, right? Like
Yeah.
with stuff like Attack on Titan or Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
So to see that sort of return to form, where it's like, but it's not even a return to form really. It's like it's them showing like, hey, we can still do crazy action stuff, right? You weebs, right? We can still do action stuff.
You weebs.
Yeah, you weebs. But look, it's more family oriented, right? Like it's still action, it's still crazy, but nobody's dying, right? Nobody's getting like arms bitten off by titans. Nobody's getting run through with a sword, right? Like it's just Twilight going to save, or sorry, not Twilight. Forgive me. How foolish of me. Lloyd Man. It's Lloyd Man going to save Princess Anya, you know? I just thought, yeah, the Lloyd Man was so funny. Like, Twilight having to put on the quote-unquote Lloyd Man outfit. I thought it was going to be the full outfit, by the way. Like, I thought it was going to be, like, the trench coat and everything, but it's like, no, it's just the mask. It's just the...
Okay, but can we talk about this episode?
Getting plastered? Or like, thank you for always taking care of my husband, which is like the, like, you know, like the nice thing you say to your husband's coworkers, right? Thank you for taking care of my husband.
Like, she gets in the plane, she's
so
like
funny.
The wine bottle, she just became the epitome of a
wine mom. Yeah, Lior became a wine mom. Also, I want to point something out. So last week, we were questioning who would win in a fight. And I don't remember if I said this or not, but I did say that the creator said that if it came down to a one-on-one fight, that while Twilight has more, like, technical skill, Yor is the much stronger fighter, right?
She is.
And, oh my god, dude. Like,
and she was drunk.
She was drunk. Imagine her at her sharpest. Like, she was drunk, so she didn't know where to pull her punches, right? So she cuts him in the face, like, with her heel. She kicked him with her heel in the face. Like, I was like, jeez. Like, well, and, like, that's, like, that was scary. Like, and the weight of her punches, too. Like, yours really strong, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was impressed by that. But you're becoming, like, the wine mom. Because the funniest thing is, like, when she goes to wind up for a huge kick, and then her heel breaks because she puts too much weight on it. And she falls over and just falls asleep.
Yep.
So funny.
It was so good. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I just loved this episode. It was so good. And I did mention this while we were watching, is that, you know, sometimes, like, I really like having episodes in the beginning of a show where they're kind of fun, right? They're just like, they're fun. They're hanging out. They're like, there's some wacky, goofy thing that really, like, while yes, this pertained to the story in a way, right? Like, to
There's
get
only
Anya
like the first
to, like,
few minutes.
Right. It's only really the first few minutes because, like, you really don't need this whole, like, bond, you know, like bond man, with Anya. But, like, it does bring some development to like their characters, right? Like, as a duo, especially.
It was a nice reminder that, like, Twilight does care about Anya. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done all this. Yeah,
exactly. Like,
and him being flustered, by the way, when it's like, I'm here to save you. Like, he's embarrassed, but the other spies are like, wow, we get to see Twilight's acting in the flesh. Right?
Yeah,
when he's all shy because he's like, this is so dumb.
This is so dumb. Yeah. But it was still, I mean, seeing Twilight, like, all flustered was really cute. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting there.
I know you're a big.
I'm like,
if you don't know, Stella has become a huge Twilight shrimp, which I love because I'm also a Twilight shrimp. Once again, we are fighting over husbandos. Twilight is mine. You will back off.
No!
I'll fight you to the death.
No!
But Twilight.
Mine!
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 Mine.
Mine.
No. I was gonna say, fine, then I'll have your. I'm like, no, I'll have both. Screw you.
No.
But yes. That is pretty much just about everything. Oh! Before I forget, I want to point out the fact that we don't really get a whole lot with these characters, but we do get to see a little bit of the Westalis. That's the name of the place, Westalis. The Westalis spy agency. We get to see a little bit of them. Like, so this is Twilight's boss and the boss's right hand, right? So, like, his, like, right-hand woman, who is basically, like, the one who allows this operation to go on. And by the end of the episode has to show the bill.
Yep.
And the boss has this, like, such a funny, like, are these real numbers? Right? Like, that was such a funny line. Like, are these real numbers? Yes, they are. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Like, so funny. But, yeah, I really liked seeing more of them. And I hope we see more of them. Like, having, like, to report back, I think is good. Because it reminds you that, like, oh, yeah, this isn't just, like, a fun little mission they're doing. Like, the world's at stake. Right? Like, if they don't succeed, then the East and the West continue to be at odds with each other. If they win, they get world peace, right? So, like, the stakes are very, very high. And so going back to the Westalis group, I think is really, really cool. But yeah, anyway, is there anything else that we need to bring up?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Sorry this one was quick. We have places to be, so we gotta go. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Outro! And that's going to do it for today's discussion, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I want to give a big, big thank you to the lovely people who help support us over on Patreon. And if you too would like to have your name scrolling past the screen, then be sure to check out that Patreon link in the description. And of course, a big, big thank you has to go to Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorins, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trap Master, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Check me out over on Twitch, on Twitter, all the fun stuff. Links to everything are in the first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you in the next one.